Moon Farm Dairy. The moon farmer beamed with pride as the explorers tasted their first glass of fresh moon milk. The cows jingled softly and bubbles of stardust floated through the dairy barn like magic. Just then, a voice called out across the lunar landscape, warm and welcoming. "Well, butter my moon biscuits, visitors. Hello there." The man on the moon waved as he approached, and the moon cows around them mooed cheerfully, as if greeting an old friend. Lexi and the kids walked to meet him, hopping a little because of the low gravity. Each step was like a fun little bounce. Walking up a nearby cheese hill was a handsome older man whose icy blue eyes sparkled like crystal stars in the night sky. He had silvery white hair combed back and a manicured beard. His straw hat was tipped to one side over a space helmet. His light blue overalls had a white patch on the front pocket with sparkly navy stitching that read Moon Farm Dairy. He wore them over a silver-white spacesuit that matched his beard. He was carrying a heavy metal pail, that which sloshed with fresh, frothy moon milk. The man on the moon himself, running a moon dairy farm. The children could hardly believe their eyes. A friendly moon farmer. "Welcome, welcome," with a perfect smile that gleamed against the moon dust, setting down his milk bucket. "I don't get many visitors up here, aside from Mrs. Moon and my lovely herd. We're known as Moonies to everyone in the galaxies." He patted the cow that Leo had fed. "I'm so delighted to have company. I'm the man on the moon, but you can just call me Mr. Moon, and my wife Mrs. Moon. Mrs. Moon should be back shortly. She's been on Mars, harvesting Mars-mallows all day. They're everyone in the cosmos' favorite treat, especially the moon cows." He brought his finger up to his mouth and whispered, "Shh," with a wink pointing towards the bouncing cows. "And who might you all be?" Allie introduced herself and her friends, and of course their amazing guide, Lexi. Mr. Moon shook each of their hands. "Spectrum Explorers Club, you say? And a fine ship named Beyond Boundaries. Oh my, we've heard about some brave kids from Earth that are making a club to explore the cosmos. News travels light speed among the stars here." He winked. The children beamed with pride to hear their new club being recognized already. Mr. Moon gestured toward a cluster of large, domed structures in the distance, connected by what looked like bendy straw-shaped tunnels. Come to my moon dairy farm. I'll give you a tour and a treat for helping me by keeping the cows happy today." The friends hadn't exactly done much yet, but feeding that cow a piece of cheese seemed to count as a helpful deed to Mr. Moon. They followed him along a path of firm cheese. Maybe it was a kind of cheese road. Walking was bouncy and fun. Leo experimented with little leaps, and each jump sent him floating a few feet before landing. "This is the best adventure ever," he laughed. Luna held one of Leo's hands to keep him from floating off too high, and together they giggled with each buoyant step. They reached the moon dairy buildings. One dome was clearly the barn. Inside were several moon cows cozily lying on beds of soft crater grass. Another dome was the cheese-making room. Big churns and tubs bubbled with a mixture of milk and stardust to age the cheese, Mr. Moon explained. It smelled like a fantastical cheese shop, rich but also sweet. The smallest dome was Mr. and Mrs. Moon's home, a little cottage full of jars of jam and crackers, for his cheese, of course, and two rocking chairs that floated just a bit off the ground, which must make for very relaxing rocking. Mr. Moon led them to the cheese-making room and handed everyone a cup of frothy moon milk to taste. It was surprisingly fizzy and tasted like vanilla ice cream. "Yum," Sam said, licking his lips. The kids thanked Mr. Moon for the treat. "It's the least I can do," Mr. Moon said with a smile. "You see, me and Mrs. Moon run this whole dairy by ourselves, and it can be difficult sometimes when we run into a snag or two," he said, shaking his head.